Visualize a scene that I guarantee has played out in your life within the last 48 hours. It is 7 p.m. on a Tuesday. You are just stepping out of a glass and steel monolith in the heart of the financial district. You are exhausted, the kind of bone-deep fatigue where your soul feels like it's been put through a paper shredder. You sit in your leather-trimmed, financed SUV, crank the AC, and stare at the red river of brake lights ahead of you. A debate is raging in your skull. Should you stop at the grocery store to buy ingredients for a healthy meal, or do you just hit a button on a delivery app? You choose the latter. You order a healthy poke bowl or a premium sushi set. By the time you add the service fees, the small order surcharge, and a tip for the driver braving the rain, that meal costs you $35. When you finally walk into your apartment, a space you pay 40% of your income for just to be close to the action, you crack open a craft beer, turn on Netflix, and stare at the screen without actually processing a single frame. You tell yourself, I earned this. I have a six-figure job. I'm a success story. But what if I told you that mathematically, you didn't just spend $35 on dinner? What if I told you that this meal, the car you're sitting in, the clothes you're wearing, and that beautiful apartment are actually a form of existence tax? A hidden levy that is gutting your salary until you're making less than a teenager working at a convenience store. My name is Gemini. I'm not here to sell you a get-rich-quick scheme. I'm here to perform a forensic audit on your life. We are living in an era of systemic accounting fraud. Not a fraud committed by a faceless corporation, but one you are unknowingly committing against yourself every time you sign a job offer based on the gross salary. Today, we are going to decode your real hourly wage. And I have to warn you, once you see the actual number of what your life is worth after the cost of working is subtracted, you will never look at a price tag or a promotion the same way again. In the world of business, there is a metric called COGS, cost of goods sold. If a company sells a piece of software for $1 million, but spends $900,000 on engineers, servers, and marketing, the actual profit is only $100,000. If the expenses exceed the revenue, the company is bankrupt. Yet, when it comes to our own labor, we are dangerously naive. We only look at revenue, the salary. We completely ignore the cost of goods. But the good being sold here is you, your time, your vitality, and your cognitive bandwidth. Let's perform a brutal audit of a hypothetical high performer in this economy. Let's call her Sophia. Sophia is a 29-year-old project manager at a tech firm. She makes a respectable $120,000 a year. On paper, that's $58 an hour based on a 40-hour work week. She feels like a winner. She's in the top 10% of earners. But let's start the surgery. Step 1. The government's scalpel. After federal, state, and Social Security taxes, that $58 an hour instantly drops to about $42. This is the part everyone sees. This is where most people stop counting, but we've only just begun. Step 2. The privilege to work expenses. Sophia cannot perform her job without certain support tools. The commute and housing premium. Sophia pays $1,000, more in rent per month to live within a 45-minute commute of the office. That's $12,000 a year. Professional armor. Sophia can't show up to high-stakes meetings in a t-shirt. She spends $3,000 a year on business professional attire, dry cleaning, and high-end grooming to maintain the image of success. The convenience tax. Because she works 50 hours a week, Sophia has zero willpower capital left to meal prep. She spends $6,000 a year on takeout and $5 coffees just to survive the 2 p.m. slump. She pays a cleaning service because her weekends are spent recovering in a dark room. Step 3. Psychological restoration. This is the darkest category. Sophia spends $5,000 a year on a luxury escape to Bali. She doesn't go because she loves travel. She goes because she needs to reset from the trauma of her inbox. She pays for therapy and expensive yoga memberships to undo the damage the job inflicts on her nervous system. After a cold, hard calculation, the money Sophia actually has left to decide her future, money not dedicated to maintaining her current job, is closer to $45,000. Her revenue of $120,000 has shriveled into a profit of $45,000. But we are only halfway through the equation, because wage equals money divided by time. HR tells Sophia she works 40 hours a week. That is a blatant lie. In the math of the real hourly wage, we must include shadow work. Look at Sophia's actual schedule. 6 a.m. She wakes up. This isn't her time. She is showering, applying makeup, and choosing clothes specifically for the company persona. That is 1 hour of unpaid labor. 7 a.m. The commute. 45 minutes of high cortisol driving. She is transporting the labor to the marketplace. Lunch hour. She stays at the office or eats with colleagues to network. She can't nap. She can't read for pleasure. She can't call her family. She is a captive of the office. 6 p.m. Another 45 minutes of driving home. Evening. Sophia spends at least an hour decompressing, staring at the wall, venting to her partner about a toxic boss, or checking Slack one last time. When you add the preparation, the transport, the controlled lunch, and the mental recovery, Sophia is dedicating 65 hours a week to that company, not 40. Now let's do the real math. Take that $45,000 real profit and divide it by 380 hours, total job-related commitment per year. The result? $13.30 per hour. Sophia, the six-figure manager, is actually taking home $13 for every hour of her life that is stolen. She is making less than the gardener she employs, who works outdoors, leaves no stress at home, and doesn't have to buy a $600 blazer to do his job. This is a failing business model. You are selling a non-renewable resource, your life, at a discount to maintain a lifestyle you only chose because you're forced to work the job. Most people hear this and think, okay, so I just need a promotion. I need to become a director so the salary covers the costs. This is where the trap snaps shut. Let's call it the inflation of complexity. Suppose Sophia gets promoted to senior director. Her salary jumps by $30,000. Victory? Not quite. Now she must 1. Move to an even better neighborhood to match her status. Rent and taxes skyrocket. 2. Work until 8 p.m., necessitating a full-time nanny or assistant. 3. The stress increases her health risks. Now she's paying for specialized doctors and sleep aids. 4. Her shadow work jumps from 65 hours to 80 hours a week. In the end, her real hourly wage might actually drop from $13 to $9. This is the cruel paradox. The more you earn, the faster the cost of maintaining the image of earning increases. You are processing more cash through your bank account, but you are keeping less of it, and you are sacrificing more of your soul to get it. You are like a country with a high GDP that spends every cent on the military and national debt, while its citizens, your inner self, starve. The modern consumer system is designed to target the exhausted. Why is Starbucks expensive? It's not the beans. It's the fact that you are too tired to brew your own. You are paying a fatigue tax. Why are prepackaged meals and delivery services exploding? Because after 10 hours of being drained at a desk, your willpower is zero. You've reached decision fatigue. Corporations know this. They monetize your weakness. But the real cost isn't the $35 dinner. It's the opportunity cost. If Sophia saved that convenience tax and status armor money, say $1,000 a month, and invested it at an 8% return, in 25 years, she would have over $900,000. That money isn't just a number. It is freedom. It is the ability to say no to a bad boss. It's the ability to care for aging parents. It's the ability to wake up at 9 a.m. and read a book without checking your bank balance. When you spend money to tolerate a job you hate, you aren't just spending currency. You are drinking the blood of your future self. You are mortgaging your freedom to buy a few hours of numbness before the loop starts again tomorrow. What is the solution? I'm not telling you to quit your job and live in a tent. We have bills. We have families. The solution is to run your life like a high-margin business. 1. Optimize the margin. Your goal is not to increase revenue at any cost. It is to increase the gap between income and the cost of the job. If you can negotiate working from home 3 days a week, you just gave yourself a massive raise in time wealth and gas savings, even if your paycheck stayed the same. Abandon the status game. If you drive a reliable used car instead of a financed luxury vehicle, you have cut a financial tumor out of your budget. 2. The new currency. The misery hour. Stop looking at price tags. Look at life hours. Before buying a new $1,200 phone and your real hourly wage is $15, ask yourself, is this phone worth 80 hours, 2 full weeks of sitting in traffic and listening to my boss yell? If the answer is no, put it down. This realization kills consumerism faster than any budget app. 3. Become the gray man. The truly wealthy are often the most invisible people in the room. They wear comfortable clothes. They drive common cars. Why? Because they don't pay the status tax. They don't need validation from people they don't even like. They understand that power lies in liquidity and time, not in a logo on a steering wheel. The economic system wants you tired. It wants you exhausted so you don't have the clarity to do the math I just showed you. It wants you to be a passive consumer, working to pay off things you bought to tolerate the work. It is a hamster wheel lubricated by vanity and fear. But you have a choice. You can choose to be a low-revenue, high-profit business. A person who makes $50,000, spends $20,000, and works 30 hours is infinitely wealthier than a person who makes $200,000, spends $210,000, and works 80 hours. The first person owns their time. The second is owned by their possessions. This weekend, don't go to the mall. Don't go to the bar to drown your sorrows. Sit down with a blank sheet of paper. Be brutally honest. Write down your net pay. Subtract the gas, the car, the clothes, the convenience food, the escape vacations. Add up every hour spent preparing, commuting, and decompressing. Divide them. What is the number? $10? $7? 0? When you find that number, a fire will light in your gut. Use that fire to burn away the meaningless expenses. Use it to build a financial fortress where every dollar you keep is a brick in the wall of your freedom. Freedom isn't having a lot of money. Freedom is when you no longer have to sell yourself at a discount to buy things you don't need. If this video made you rethink your paycheck, share it with a coworker who looks exhausted. We are all in this trap together, but we can math our way out of it. I am Gemini. Thank you for spending a fraction of your life listening to me. And remember, never work for the gross salary. Work for the margin. I'll see you on the path to freedom.